So, hey Libra, my name is Chris, and this is your beautiful reading for whenever you freaking find it in 2026. Welcome under my little Bodhi tree here. And I'm not doing the Celtic cross, I'm doing 10 cards, and I'm going to relate them however Spirit inspires me to do so. There's the Knight of Cups and the Star card. There is forward momentum. In terms of spirituality, in terms of doing what you love to do, right? Cups energy, beautiful. It's no longer the page, we're on a horse. Beware of toxic, narcissistic energies, right? There's the Page of Swords and the Devil. So you're completely, it kind of looks pretty straightforward, right? So you're no longer naive. You're no longer sugarcoating the world, so to speak. You realize that there are toxic, negative, antagonistic, narcissistic people in this world. But the Page of Swords is also this energy where you're exactly not naive, right? Where you got your sword drawn, right? You got your healthy boundaries, you keep your distance. Do not defend, do not engage, do not explain yourself, do not personalize toxic behavior of other people, narcissistic behavior of other people. Keep your distance. That doesn't mean that you have to retreat all the freaking time. State your boundaries, but you have to create some discomfort or some consequences if somebody's overstepping your boundaries. So that means that you either create some discomfort by directly confronting that with a peaceful zen state of mind. So you're not lashing out, you're not, you're not in your anger and frustration, and you're not attacking someone, but you state your point of view clearly, and you speak your truth even if your voice is shaking. That is very important here. So you might have to put in some boundaries to toxic people, but at the same time, it's not the page, it's the Knight of Cups. So you're going your way and you're protecting that path that you have chosen for yourself. That is joyful, loving creation. That is doing what makes sense to you. This is meaningful creation, right? Cups energy, and be on a horse right now, right? It's the Knight of Cups. And there's the Star card, a wish fulfilled from the universe. You create your life and protect your inner peace, protect your projects, protect, the Page of Swords is basically the gatekeeper for all that toxicity. And in times like this, it's kind of a little sad that I have to say it, but sometimes, especially in times like this, it is better to be alone than to be with the wrong people, right? And there's the Page of Wands, and there's the Magician. So instead of fighting windmills, instead of defending yourself in the sense that you explain yourself or personalize stuff that narcissistic, toxic people do, you kind of use your energy. You're not taking the bait of the narcissist. You're controlling your fire, and you're using your fire for your creation. Again, you are responsible for your life, so protect your inner peace. Don't let toxic people into your inner circle. If there are toxic people in your inner circle, kick them out of your life. And if you can't kick them out of your life, gray rock them. Gray rocking means that you minimize exposure and that you minimize interaction with these people. So you just say no or yes, or keep it to an absolute minimum. No emotional involvement, no engagement. Do not defend yourself, do not engage, do not explain yourself, do not personalize yourself. If indeed you cannot kick them out of your life, then keep it to an absolute minimum. And all of your fire energy, all of your passion, right? So you're not suffering for passion. You're not lashing out. You're not getting angry. You're not calling names. You know, you're not calling people out as narcissistic, toxic people. Don't do that. It's usually not working out well if you confront them directly and tell them that they're narcissistic, toxic, antagonistic people. But you defend yourself, and the best defense is to keep and cultivate your inner peace, your mindfulness, so that you can use all of your fire, all of your passion, not to suffer in some futile fight with some windmill, aka the narcissist, but you use your passion, and that's the Page of Wands and the Magician, fire robe of the magician. You use your fire, use your willpower, your passion to create something in joy, right? So you got the fire element here, magician, willpower. Discipline also means discipline, willpower and self-discipline. Not taking the bait of the narcissist, protecting yourself by not defending, not engaging, not explaining, not personalizing. And all that energy that you save by not taking the bait of the toxic people, by not, jumping down into the mud with the pigs, rolling around in the dirt. That's what they want. They want you down there. They don't want to win an argument. They don't even want to win the fight. They want you down in the dirt with them. That's where they want you. But you're not doing that because that would be a waste of time. You have your fire under control and you use your fire to passionately but joyfully, not suffering for your passion. That would be arguing with the narcissist, but using your passion to, Page of Wands, Magician, joyful, create, passionately but joyful what you want to create. Star card here. So you get there if you just, and it's not just passion, it's also joy. It's really you're having a good time while you're doing it. And that is the winning story. That's the winning ticket here. And the narcissist is a distraction. Antagonistic energies, they always try to distract you, right? Use your energy, capture your energy, hijack your attention. You don't want that. You leave that behind and you go forward into that resting within yourself, just taking responsibility. Not blame stories, not whose fault is it, and he said, she said, things like that. All that nonsensical drama. You're moving on from that. You got something to create here for yourself. Protect your own energy frequency, that which you want to create in your life. There's the Three of Pentacles. So if you do that, you're attracting people who do the same. If you are in inner peace, if you're not allowing anybody to hijack your attention, if you're not allow anybody to entangle you in retarded, nonsensical arguments, drama, sometimes they change their tactics and they invite you for an event or something, that they can all prey on you at the same time. But you don't want that, right? And no is a complete sentence. Sometimes they try to kill you with kindness, right? They have different strategies. They're not always in your face aggressive or disrespectful. They can be very covert narcissistic people. They pretend like they're the most beautiful, wonderful, kind-hearted beings. And if you meet someone who is either directly malignant, narcissistic, who is constantly, testing you, poking you, attacking you, that's the malignant narcissist, directly attacking your peace of mind, directly trying to involve you in some sort of drama shit. But the covert narcissist is working in a different level. The covert narcissist is trying to be oh so nice, right? They bake you a cake full of poison, but the cake looks fantastic, and might even taste delicious, right? It's a metaphor, of course, right? But these people are very skilled in just being so extremely nice. You wouldn't believe it. And that old lady, she's so nice. That guy, my God, he helped me with the fence and this and that, if someone is too nice, the malignant narcissist is obviously an a-hole, right? Directly attacking you, directly trying to take your peace away, your inner peace away. But a malignant narcissist is the opposite and trying to fool you with that beautiful niceness. And, the devil works two extremes. One-sidedness, that's the form of evil, is one-sidedness. It's very important, one-sidedness. And it's always an energy that goes into the extreme. So it's either extremely antagonistic and angry and lashing out and trying to provoke you and poke you and laughing at you and trying to trigger you through guilt, fear, shame. That's the one extreme. Or the other extreme is to be so nice, right? That you let your guard down and say yes to things that you usually would have said no to. Why? Because someone was so kind and so nice. So the extremes, right? One-sidedness and the extremes. That's, the form of evil is one-sidedness, and the functionality is negation. They always try to get you, but sometimes it looks so nice. So be careful whenever you encounter someone who is too good to be true, too nice, too sing-song in their voice, right? That's a red flag. So move on from these people, keep your guard up, protect yourself. And I say this again here, inner mastership, and it's very powerful, actually, what you've got here. There's the devil, yes, but there's the Page of Swords, there's the Knight of Swords, actually. So you got awareness, you got anything but naivety to protect yourself from that. So you're well protected, look at that. The Knight of Swords, you know how to fight back without losing your inner peace, fight back without actually fighting. And the best way to fight back is to leave all that negative energy of these people just behind, and inner mastership, following your own light, Hermit and the High Priestess. It is really that simple. You create your life, you're responsible for your life. And that inner mastership, that inner light, you express that in what it is that you're doing. Joyful, loving creation. You need to have some fun. You need to have inner peace. You need to work on what makes sense to you, what is your project, what you love to do, and not get distracted. And instead of taking the bait of the narcissist, getting poked and provoked and, explaining yourself and engaging with these people, you're not doing that. You're not getting angry. You're not, you're using your passion creatively to manifest what you want to do. So willpower, self-discipline, resting within yourself, and then just joy, you protect your inner peace and you protect that which you love to do, because that is bringing you joy, that is bringing you inner peace. And there's your star card. Keep that inner mastery up, right? Protect your inner peace, protect your inner light. And the Hermit can stand on himself. He can be alone, actually. Being able to be alone is a superpower. And that sounds a little sad, right? But if you're surrounded by toxic, narcissistic, antagonistic people, it is better to be alone. So that is that covert narcissistic aspect where someone is just so nice And it's so tempting to go there and to do that. But always trust your gut feeling, always trust your intuition. And again, if someone is just too nice, that's a red flag either. And here's the good thing. There's the knight. Oh, beautiful. There's the knight. Oh, yeah. Okay. There's the Three of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Underneath that, there is the Nine of Cups. There's the Knight of Wands and even the Two of Cups. Radical acceptance. These people are there. The best is to disengage from them, not even engaging with them, not explaining, not defending, not personalizing, not engaging in the first place, right? Not explaining, not defending. That's super important. And if you do that, you get so much more energy for yourself to express that inner light, to express that inner mastership, to work on your fulfillment, your star, what you want to create. Because if you do in alignment with your highest potential, with your highest self, with your inner light, then the universe is co-creating, right? And not just the universe. If you uphold your frequency, if you uphold your inner light, you're going to attract people who do the same. And if you meet them and can co-create with these people, wonderful. So I'm not telling you to shut out everybody. I'm telling you to be mindful, very, very mindful, who you let into your life, in your apartment, in your inner circle. Be very mindful of that. And you're busy doing your thing. You're busy creating what makes sense for you. And if indeed you meet people, take it slow, right? In these times that we live in, take it slow. Before you allow someone into your house or even into your bad people, in this time, one-night stands, not a good idea, right? So be very mindful who you let into your life, into your inner circle. And no is a complete sentence. You're working on something that makes sense for you. What else we got? Yeah, you get something out of it. Eight of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles, and just one more here. Yeah. You know what you want. 10 of Pentacles with the Three of Pentacles. That is beautiful. Do not allow yourself to be distracted. Focus, concentration on what makes sense and for you in your life, right? As an expression of your highest self. And do not allow anybody to distract you from that. That is super important. That is the reading, I think. And Lightship Earth, that's an interesting one. Let's just see. There are a few here that are kind of more speaking to the overall state of consciousness humanity is in right now. So Lightship Earth is about planetary and personal healing. The Earth is a living consciousness, currently being flooded with higher vibrational energies. These very same energies are flowing through you. In being aware of this, you will be better able to integrate these new energies. Keep an open heart and mind, and you will see this time is a joyful one. Do not allow yourself to be drawn into the fear that exists. And these energies always try to draw you into lower, denser frequencies of consciousness, of guilt, fear, shame, anger, frustration. And the best way to defend yourself against that is to not engage with it, to not allow these people bandwidth of your consciousness. Do not give them energy, do not give them time, do not no dark imaginings, no, overthinking about these people or what they say. You got something to do, joyful, loving creation. You protect your inner peace, your inner light. That is the path. That is the best thing you can do. And if you meet people to co-create, by all means, right? Don't isolate yourself, but insulate yourself. And insulation means that you protect yourself while you go out into the world and engage with other people. If someone is toxic directly, shut them out of your life. If somebody is just too nice, just too, oh my gosh, so sweet, careful, 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 should be a red flag. But if you do that one step at a time, keep it very slow, no one-night stands, not in this time. Allow people into your life, but allow them slow and steady into your life. You know, they have to prove themselves worthy to be in your life. It's not like you just allow anybody into your life. So keep an open heart and mind, sure, and you will see this time is a joyful one. Do not allow yourself to be drawn into the fear that exists. This is a time of personal and planetary healing. You and the earth are moving towards higher states of awareness, and not everybody is capable or willing to go on that higher states. There are people who are very low in frequency. They did not integrate their shadow, they do not love themselves. So they have to drag other people down and push other people down in order to give themselves the false sense of elevation. Careful with these people who are not capable of healing themselves in and going into higher vibrational energies. This is a time of personal and planetary healing. You and the earth are moving towards higher states of awareness. Imagine the earth in your mind's eyes. Send love and light to everyone, to every living thing, every blade of grass, and every atom of light. Send love to yourself, send love to your friends, your family, and those who have passed. And you can be, you know, if they are toxic, narcissistic people, don't hate them, right? Don't be angry about them. They are just who they are, but that doesn't mean that you have to, as hard as it sounds, use your energy. You can't help them. You can't change them. They have chosen a darker path, and you are choosing the light. And choosing the light means protecting your inner peace, protecting your inner mastership, creating from a place of love and integration and transcendence, and just doing what you love to do. There's self-discipline in there, there's willpower in there, but not to force, but to flow, right? To just flow with that which you love and makes sense to you. And protect that. You need your energy to do that. Protect that from toxic people. And the interesting thing is to protect yourself and at the same time not isolate yourself, but be open enough. There are decent people in this world as well. Even if, you know, it's kind of the time of the narcissist right now, but you might have noticed that. Tend to the small things, mouse spirit. Yeah. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to be happy and at peace. At this time, super important. And that might seem like not much, but it is more than many people can manage right now. Jim Morrison, a friend, is someone who gives you complete freedom to be yourself. So everybody who wants you to be a certain way, who's, you know, if you have to prove your worth to people or something like that, that's a red flag. Validate only what is valid. Say no to the things that you don't like. Call out the things that you don't think are okay. You know? If that lady or that gentleman or whatever is baking your cake and you don't know them, that's super nice, but I'm not interested. Thank you. No is a complete sentence, right? You can kill someone with kindness. Remember that. Have a daily routine and stick to it. Joyful, loving creation. And you know, I see you doing that very powerful. The Magician is here. That's how you show up, right? The Magician, the Empress, the Hierophant, not the Hierophant, the Hermit, and the Star card, and clarified by the King of Pentacles. So you get a lot going. Protect that and give it loving, consistent energy. That's all I got. Share, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think about it. There's the yearly reading, there's the fall and winter reading. I'm going to link that at the end of this reading. And you can check out your sun, moon, and rising if you want the full picture. And hopefully see you next time. Now, ciao.